Okay, so second video in this series. Not sure if I'm gonna keep doing it, but it's been a while since the first one. But I have something here that I feel it's useful to illustrate some things. So just for context, it's not very relevant, but just for context, this is a map that Avexus made, and I'm making a lawless difficulty for him, kind of basing it off his. The stuff after this is just a Avexus map. I haven't touched this, so we're gonna put a wall here. Everything after that is not part of what we're talking about. So this is a lawless difficulty, so it's meant to be kind of extreme in some way. This is obviously just introduction, just kind of a little build up that we have here of the introduction. Nothing too serious. But here's the point, right? So this part here, I have some stuff before, right? And then here you get the kicks to start. Boom, boom. And it has kind of a build up feel to it. So I wanted to communicate that in some way. And yeah, you can see the pattern here. Basically, it says scissor doubles that go side to side and they increase in intensity. But there's one specific thing or one comment about how I arrived to this that I want to comment on. So this is both palm maps, of course. So how did I arrive to this? Well, this has to do a lot with counting notes. And this is something that I feel a lot of mappers don't really do, or they do subconsciously, but they don't do explicitly, and it might be making their life harder to figure out some things. You have to know how many notes you have for things like parity, lean parity. So lean parity means lean sides, and also rotations and stuff like that. So what does it matter here? Well, here I want to go side to side, back and forth, but I also want to match the structure of the music, and the structure of the music here is relatively simplistic. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then changes the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we start again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Except this part is like the aim high, or whatever it is I was saying, but same chord, and then changes the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this is actually a repetition. So this is the middle point of this part, and then it's literally the same thing, but slightly more intense, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Changes the chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. Go back and then aim high. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it finishes here, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it finishes, right? So why does that matter? Well, I was set on the scissor doubles from the beginning, so we're working on that assumption of using scissor doubles. If we have scissor doubles and I want to follow the structure of the music, and I do 1, 2, 3, 4, I'm going to end up with the same parity as I began as. So here I have forehand blue, backhand red, and after 4 I have forehand blue, backhand red. So if I want to do this side-to-side motion, you have to understand that this pattern is a lot more uncomfortable than this, a lot more comfortable than this pattern, or a lot very different from, if I try to invert the parity of both notes here, it's not that easy. So for example, this is very bad. So what I'm trying to say is when we go, if we take this pattern 3, 4, and then here we say, okay, we'll just mirror it, that's the wrong parity, right? You can see that. When we arrive here and we start the second set after the chord change, the parity is different. And so one way that you could have dealt with this is to make the lean or the side-to-side changes faster. So you could be 1, 2, 3, 4, and then by the time you get to this one, if you were back on the left, then that would have matched the parity. However, I didn't want to do that for two reasons. First, I wanted a little bit more slow side-to-side, but also I wanted both hands to feel more symmetric. If every time I hit the beginning of the 4 beat sequences, which is our measures really, if every time I hit the beginning of a measure, I'm on the left side with the blue hand, the right hand as a forehand and the left hand as a backhand, it's gonna feel very much like the emphasis is all on that side, and I wanted a little bit more symmetry. Now I'm not gonna get full symmetry, it's impossible because it's 4 notes, at least with the constraints that I have, it's 4 notes. So when I arrive here, I'm going to have the same parity, but I want to be on the other side, so I'm never going to be able to do this. This is just not going to be possible because of parity with the constraints that I have. But I still wanted it to feel symmetric. So what did I do to do this? Well, I had this idea. I can do 1, 2, 3, and then when I get here to the 4th one, I can actually have symmetry because this is the, it's 3 bits away, so there's the parity is different, so I can make that symmetric. And if I also at the same time want an increase in intensity, what I can do is just start on this side, get to the other side somehow. It doesn't really matter. I mean, obviously it needs to flow well and so on and so forth, but get there 1, 2, 3, and then on the third one get the mirror, and then when I start the next iteration, I just continue the transition. Obviously there's momentum here, so this blue goes down, rotates, then down, then goes that. So then I continue the momentum that I had from the last transition a little bit farther. So this is actually almost the same position, but it's a little bit more intense. But you can see that in next one. So that what it means is that when I start these 4 notes, I start on the other side, but now I start with a little bit more intensity, and I do the same thing. 1, 2, 3. I get to the symmetric after 3, and then I go a little bit farther. So here you can see I didn't rotate the red because rotating here on negative curvature would be a little bit ugly, so I decided not to do it. But I rotate the blue, and it's kind of a little bit more intense. And then I do the same. So this is the beginning of the 4 notes, the 4 beats, sorry, the measure. 1, 2, 3, 4, and notice that there's a bit more momentum now because I'm going from more extreme positions to more extreme positions. So now, for example, red rotates here, that rotates here, and then blue goes unrotates, then stays there, and then here I just go a little bit farther. So I rotate the blue a little bit farther, I keep the red like that. So now I've gone from the first one was a pretty neutral position, the second one was quite neutral as well, but a little bit more tricky. Then I went to this, which has the blue a little bit more rotated. So now I go to this, where the blue is actually a palm out, which I didn't have until now. So then the same 1, 2, 3, 4, the symmetric, and then I go a little bit farther. In this case, it's the same posture, but this backhand is a little more intense than this, to be honest. But because I've gotten here the way I have, and the pattern has kind of conditioned me to follow momentum, I've played this. It plays really well for me. This feels quite natural. And then the same 1, 2, 3, 4, same symmetric pattern, and then go a little bit farther. And in this case, because I'm on positive curvature on both hands, I feel comfortable to do this. So this is or horizontal, like palm out and palm up. So a little bit farther on the direction of momentum, and same thing. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat the pattern, and then go a little bit farther. In this case, I don't rotate any of them anymore because it's negative curvature and it would feel a little bit early. But basically, I have this pattern, which is, it feels symmetric, but it's a lot more intense. This is a lot more intense than that. But I can get there because you're expecting it from before. Same thing. 1, 2, and now you can see the patterns are getting really open because we're going from pretty extreme postures to pretty extreme postures. So 1, 2, 3, 4, repeat, and then for the final one I just go all the way in. So I go full palm up on both hands, and the result is that I have a pattern that keeps parity, keeps that symmetry side to side. The movement side to side is relatively slow. It keeps momentum, but it also escalates in intensity. And it was critical for all of this that I counted notes, that I had 4 notes, so I'm always going to have the parity on the other side. That's kind of, it doesn't allow me a symmetric. So I used that and said, okay, what if I do the symmetry before, and then I up the intensity 1 iteration. Each time I get to this point, I increase it a little bit more, but then I keep doing the symmetry and I keep going back and forth. And all the patterns in the middle are just kind of something that makes it work. There probably can be some tweaking on it, but it's mostly just stuff that makes the transition from one side to the other work properly. And the result is this. So 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see how the intensity is increasing slowly. It's getting real now. And you get there. And it also, for tech players, this is actually pretty natural to play. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So yeah, the main thing for me here that I think a lot of mappers don't think about explicitly is count your notes and think about how the number of notes, the number of patterns that you have relates to the structure of the music and what you want to do with it, and try to find, it's like an equation and you're trying to find the solution. And in this case, for me, the solution, or one solution that I liked, was this idea of I do the mirror on 3 instead of 4, and then on the 4th one I increase the intensity. That allowed me to get this crescendo of patterns that feel quite symmetric at the same time, without always being on the left side, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. It's something I think a lot of people could benefit from thinking about more explicitly. A lot of people do this sort of stuff without realizing like that intuitively. Okay, hope that's useful.